For part one of the barbell deadlift, we're going to be shooting from the front so you can get an idea of what it looks like when setting up from the front. In part two, we're going to be showing you how to set up from the side and what that looks like as we bend at the hips and set up our spine, since that seems to be the most common area where people are incurring injury. So we want to make sure you're set up for success. From the front, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to center my body on this barbell. Conveniently, there's this nice smooth area on every single barbell out there. There might even be a rough patch in the middle. We call that the knurling. But for this one, it's nice and smooth right in the center of the barbell before it runs into the knurling along the rest of the bar. That's going to allow me to center myself just right. Once I've centered myself, now I want to establish my foot position. For the purpose of this video, we're going over the conventional deadlift. We will have other videos where we're going over the sumo and the modified sumo deadlift as well. But for this one, our feet are going to be roughly hip width apart. Some people might have their toes out. Some people might have their toes straight ahead. I'm going to have mine straight ahead. While your feet are flat and toes are straight ahead, you're going to line up that barbell over the center of the foot. We don't want to have it by the toes. We don't want to have it already up against our shins, just directly over the center of the foot. This will make more sense as we bend our knees and hips and lower ourselves towards the bar. That way, by the time we're at the bottom, our shins are already close to that bar. Otherwise, if they're already touching, we're literally having to push that bar to get down to the bottom position. So, next thing, we're going to bend at the knees and hips as we maintain a nice flat neutral spine. As we bend at the knees and hips, most of that bend is going to be at the hips. And then as your shins move forward, they're going to move forward until they're either A, touching the bar like mine are, or they're going to be about a 1/4 inch back from the bar. From here, I'm going to take my gaze and look down at where I'm grabbing that bar. Make sure you give yourself enough distance for your grip outside of your legs. It's very common for some people to grab this bar so close to their shins, by the time they come up, their hands and fingers are pressed up against the front of their thighs. Try to avoid that by giving yourself some clearance. Make sure both hands are equal distance from the center of the bar. You're going to wrap the thumb and fingers around tightly so the knuckles are pointed down. The wrists are straight. Make sure the wrists are not bent back. Once you've established your grip, you're going to take the slack out of that bar. As you take the slack out, there's a little bit of a distance between the collar on that barbell and the actual inside of the plate itself. There's a little bit of play, so take any of that out. And from there, we're going to bend the barbell backwards. And as we bend the barbell backwards, we're actually going to be screwing our shoulder into our upper back, engaging our lats, and making that barbell a part of our body. So again, centered on the bar, bend at my knees and hips, set up my hands, thumb and fingers wrapped around, knuckles down, slack out, bend the barbell backwards. Now I'm set up to go. From here, I'm going to take in a nice deep belly breath. Notice I'm not looking up at the camera. I'm actually keeping my head in line with the rest of my spine, keeping it neutral. After I've taken my breath, I'm going to extend my knees and hips, keeping that barbell close. Make sure the hips are fully extended, but we also want to avoid leaning back or arching our lower back. From here, I'm going to lower the barbell by first bending at my hips. Once that barbell passes the crease of my knees, then I'll start bending my knees until it's all the way to the ground. For each successive rep, we want to make sure that barbell is close to the body. Once we're done, release your grip. That's part one of the barbell conventional deadlift.